Hello, West Essex, and welcome back to SportsKnight Radio, first episode of 2021. My name is Paul Gustafson, joined today, as always, by
Curran and Paul, I think we should first address the elephant in the room. We're seniors.
Facts.
Senior year.
Yeah.
Last year high school. Getting out of this place.
Final season of SportsKnight Radio.
Final season. We're gonna have to make this our Michael Jordan season. This is our last dance season.
Oh, I got it. Also, right now, as you can see, we're still in our junior year at home.
Yeah.
COVID-proof setup, but hopefully within the next couple of weeks or something, room 801 will be set up and we can actually record in school.
Yeah, we're working on it.
With the real setup, with the
real setup, with the
actually,
cameras.
Yeah, cameras.
Talking like true gentlemen.
Sure. Anyway, so what have you been up to?
Well, this summer was interesting. I mean, I kind of just worked all summer, most of the summer.
Where'd you work?
I caddy. So I was
Oh,
caddying at a country club near my house. That was pretty fun. And then, getting ready, doing a lot of the college stuff. I'm applying to a lot of colleges. Paul's applying to one. And so, he doesn't really have that stress, but I do. So I was doing that this summer. But yeah.
yeah.
Keeping it low key. Keeping it low key.
Same with me. NFL started. We're starting a little bit late this year. We've been through 3 weeks of the NFL season already. Steelers and Giants are off to horrible starts.
Hot start. Very hot start from both teams.
Opposite. So, like last year, what did we do? So, we did overreactions.
Yeah.
Last year, and that's what we're doing again today. But what weeks did we do that last year?
I think it was I want to say it was week 2.
Okay, so we're just 1 week late. That's not bad.
I think we're 1 week late, but what are you going to do?
So we each came up with a couple overreactions that we're going to share with you. Again, these are hot takes, so some of them might be a little extreme, and that's why it's an overreaction. This is based on what we've seen from the first 3 weeks of the season. So I'll get us started, and we're doing these in the form of it's just been 3 weeks, but claims. So my first claim, it's just 3 weeks, but the Arizona Cardinals will win the Super Bowl, and I actually picked them to go to the Super Bowl before the season even started. So they're off to a 3-0 start. Pretty hot. I'm looking good right now. Kyler Murray was my MVP pick during the preseason as well. 3rd in passing yards, 3rd in completion percentage, 5th in quarterback rushing yards. He looks sharp. The weapons on offense are absolutely electric. Deandre Hopkins is the best receiver in the league, even if he hasn't played like it so far. He's dealing with injuries. Rondell Moore is a rookie, and he's putting on for the team. AJ Green, obviously not the player he once was, but he's still AJ Green. Like, he could perform. Christian Kirk is 14th in receiving yards. That's the type of production you like to see from a Christian Kirk. And then you got James Conner, scored 2 touchdowns last week, and Chase Edmonds. That's a nice duo in the backfield. Dominating 3-0 start. A little bit of shakiness last week in Jacksonville, and actually the week before against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Missed kick by Greg Joseph. But I like what I see for the Cardinals. Chandler Jones with a 5-sack game in week 1. Like, he hasn't gotten a sack since then, but if he could do something else, that's a very talented team. They brought in J.J. Watt. I think they could go to the Super Bowl and win.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been
division, by the way. That's a very hard division.
Exactly. I think the best team. I think they are. I mean, they're probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in that division. But I just question whether or not they'll do it against a team like the Rams or a team that is very solid. I mean, the Titans are okay. And they definitely dominated the Titans.
They beat up the Titans.
They definitely dominated the Titans. So that was great. That was also week 1. A lot of things happened week 1. And so I would just say that, we should pump the brakes a little. A lot of people are saying the Cardinals are they're definitely right now playing like a top 5 team. Whether they're going to continue it or not is going to be up to Kyler, if he can stay healthy. I think he dealt with injuries last year when the Cardinals were looking incredible after beating the Bills and the Hail Murray. But after that, I mean, they kind of fell apart a little because Kyler got hurt. So that's all I'll say.
I think the real person that's going to dictate whether they continue this run out is Cliff Kingsbury.
Mhm.
I don't think so far in his career he's been a great coach, but if he can make this team work because the talent's there, it's based on coaching to get the job done.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me hear what you got.
Okay. It's only been 3 weeks, but the Kansas City Chiefs will not win their division this year. Andy Reid they're already 0-1 in the division. Andy Reid is having health issues. I know he was released from the hospital, but I mean they still exist. Their defense is horrible. 31st in DVOA and 32nd in rushing DVOA. Very bad. They can't stop a thing. They can't run the ball. They have a terrible offensive line, especially for that. Ranks 32nd in the league. And Clyde kind of stinks. Has not been great this year. And then, I think they still might make the playoffs. I think that passing attack can carry them to make the playoffs, especially because there's one extra playoff team. But the hot start of their division, hot start of other teams in their division screws them. And also, I forgot about this. The Chiefs lost the Super Bowl last year, right? That's a curse, right? The losing the Super Bowl curse. Also, I mean, they're bound to regress from last year. They had 9 one-score games last year, and they won 8-1 in those 9-score games or 1-score games. And statistics have shown that winning 1-score games is very unsustainable. You can't keep performing that high of a level. And so, yeah, I think they're bound to regress, and they're not winning their division this year.
You said they might make the playoffs. This is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs we're talking about here. We will be watching them in January. They will be in the playoffs. I could agree that they won't win the division, which currently they're in last place because the Raiders are off to a 3-0 start. The Broncos are off to like a Mickey Mouse 3-0 start. Like they played the Giants, Jaguars, and Jets. I think they're a good team, but they're not going to continue this. And the Chargers are obviously a really good team. Just beat the Chiefs. So I definitely agree. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win the division, but they're going to make the playoffs. What are you talking about? Might make the playoffs.
I actually had in my predictions, I had 2. I want to say I had 2. Yeah, I definitely did have more than one team from the AFC West in the playoffs. It was the Broncos for me because I just think that the Broncos have a lot of talent in their roster. And even when Teddy Bridgewater wasn't starting and they had Drew Lock, even projecting him as a starter, I thought they would be fine if Teddy Bridgewater can keep playing like he is now and Pat Shermer can keep dialing up pretty good plays. Then I mean, there's really no stopping them. They have been rolling, but I know obviously they haven't played the best teams, but it's just the way they've beat them, right? The Giants were never in the game. The Jets were just never even close to being in the game, and same with the Jaguars.
Facts. All right. My next claim. It's just 3 weeks, but it's Deshaun Watson's season in Pittsburgh. And, as much as it pains me to say, Ben's reached the end, right? I have the jersey right to my side. I love Ben. Actually, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. That's my favorite, RG3. That's besides the point. He can't move. Like, back in the day, you see the pocket collapses on Ben. He's able to extend the play, run around. Like, he was always going to escape. Second the pocket, he's done. He can't move. He's like, we need a mobile guy like Lamar Jackson or, like I just said, Deshaun Watson. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks with Watson. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm willing to give up whatever. Like, you're not going to get a quarterback that's as good as Deshaun Watson, period. I think he's, like, one of the most talented quarterbacks currently by far. And he's just, like, I don't know what's going on with Watson currently, but I'm willing to take it on. Like, we'll figure that out once he gets here. The Steelers, to win right now with Ben Roethlisberger, they need the defense to carry him. And we saw on Sunday, TJ Watt was out. So the defense couldn't carry the Steelers, and they lost to a Bengals team, which I think is a decent team, not a good team. So I think it's time to make the move. Get Deshaun Watson to Pittsburgh.
To further illustrate your point about Deshaun Watson, not Deshaun Watson, about Ben Roethlisberger, I would just take a look at hold on. I would just take a look,
4th and 10.
not just fourth and I would take a look at this.
So I think I
The
know.
passing charts.
Oh.
We were looking at this during journalism. I was showing Paul this during journalism. But all right, first this is week 1, right? Decent. No, nothing over 20. Then the next week, again, that's actually a little better. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite. Oh yeah. I mean, look how many balls are behind the line. Look how many screens there
You
are.
can't give Najee Harris 19 targets. He led the league in targets this week. He's a running back.
It is. I mean, I'm not complaining that Najee Harris is getting 19 targets a game because
Neither am I.
my fantasy team
Love Najee.
is thanking him for him. Thanking him for him. Paul and I were drafting our fantasy teams this year, and we were in the same location. And so it's pick 18. Najee Harris is on the board. I'm like, Paul, thanks for because Paul's right after me, and so he probably really wanted to pick him too. And I was like, Paul, here you go. And then I picked him, and he got all mad at me. So that was pretty fun.
I also want to point out the division too. 3 of the best young quarterbacks in the league: Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, and then you got Ben.
Mhm.
So if you could get younger, because the division's getting younger, you got to get younger with them. And also just the talent on offense. Deontay Johnson's a stud. Chase Claypool, Juju, Najee. Like, help those guys out. Get them someone that can actually play. Sorry, Ben, I love you, but I'm done with you.
I would say just, I think this might be a punt of a season. Look, mediocre. I don't know if the Steelers really want to be mediocre.
It's impossible for them to be mediocre.
If you want to be mediocre or really good, really bad, it might honestly be worth it. I never advise tanking, but winning 4 games and ending up with the third pick in the draft might have to be the option.
The thing is, the Steelers will never win 4 games. They're going to finish the season winning 7 or 8 games and finish right in the middle. That's how they always do it. They can't lose, and they never win successfully. Yep.
All right. Next one. Okay. It's only been 3 weeks, but the 49ers need Trey Lance to save their season. Now, I understand they're 2-1.
Dave, I was going to say.
Let's be real. They are 2-1. I understand. But looking at the games, if you watch the games, at what point can you continue justify starting Jimmy G? Let's look at the first 2 games of the year, the Lions and the Eagles. They have the Lions down to rights. They're beating them pretty well, but they keep letting them back in. They just can't put the game away. And same with the Eagles. The Eagles, they just could never separate. They were neck and neck the whole game, which, let's face it, those teams should not be be able to hang with the 49ers. And then they lost to the Packers, obviously. But also, so we need to switch things up. Now, obviously, Trey Lance has a low floor. I mean, if he sucks, he's going to end up terrible. But you need to take the risk, because at this point, when I look at this division and I see that, okay, we have the 49ers have the worst quarterback in the division. The 49ers therefore have the worst offense in their division. When I look at that, I think, well, we already have a quarterback on the roster who could, in fact, bring us up. So the gap between our offenses and our quarterbacks are actually not that big. So when I'm looking at it, I need Trey Lance, because Trey Lance brings that dynamism. I mean, we saw in the Packers game, he comes into the game just before halftime, scores the rushing TD, completely changes the momentum, and then the 49ers start to come back. I just feel like at this point, I don't know how long you can keep justifying starting Jimmy Garoppolo, especially when you moved up and you got Trey Lance as early as you did.
Yeah, I think Trey Lance is a generational, like, Patrick Mahomes type talent. He is a star. And we've seen glimpses of him this year. They keep throwing him in different situations. He looks good. I think you keep doing that all year. Just let him ride out. Just take it easy. Take a seat. What the Chiefs do with Patrick Mahomes. Let him just sit and watch. Learn the game as it goes. And it's future up next year, because they're still going to be successful this year. And
my thing, though, is the problem with the 49ers is the roster was built the opposite way for the Chiefs. I mean, actually, it's built similar to the Chiefs, but it needs a quarterback to take over. And the every year that the 49ers do not have that quarterback is just one more year that players get older, players get hurt, and they need to start recycling players. And so at this point, I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan needs a quarterback. And I just think that Trey Lance is just the guy they should just throw in now. I mean, get him ready and get him in more.
I agree. I wouldn't be mad with him coming in now. I just feel like they could wait a little bit longer. All right. Staying in the NFC West with my next overreaction, I say it's just 3 weeks, but Cooper Kupp has solidified himself as a top 3 receiver in the NFL. I have always been a big member of the Cooper Kupp hype train, and I hopped off of it before this year, fantasy-wise at least. I didn't pick him in my leagues because I picked him last year. Disappointed me. Robert Woods was a better option. And now here we are with Matt Stafford, and Cooper Kupp, like I said, is a top 3 receiver in the NFL. Leads the league in yards, receptions, touchdowns, and yards per game. Matthew Stafford's really come in here and unlocked his true potential. He's got elite route running vision, moves, acceleration. He knows what to do. Like when he's on the football field, the Rams use him in other ways too. He's a great decoy. He can actually block pretty well too. Like if you see on tape, like Cooper Kupp's legit. He's the key to the Rams offense. And if this team's going to be successful, I think obviously Stafford is very important, but a lot of it comes down to Cooper Kupp, and people don't realize that. And if I'm saying he's top 3, I already claimed Hopkins is the best in the league, so I'd put Hopkins over him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'd go Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the 2 guys I would put over him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp's having a great year. Like I won't mince words here. Cooper Kupp's great. A lot of what Cooper Kupp does, though, a lot of it can be credited to Sean McVay. The way that he can scheme, the way that he schemes receivers open is just incredible. I mean, Cooper Kupp is obvious. I mean, Cooper Kupp's leading the league in defensive yards over replacement, so he's definitely doing well. And someone who is bad would come in and would not do as well as him. But I mean, at a certain point, I mean, a lot of it does come down to Sean McVay and the way he can use decoys and use play calling to get him open.
This also with any player. Like the Rams can't put me in Cooper Kupp's spot and have as much success. Like a lot of players, you need that coach to unlock them, and okay, that's fine. But they still have the talent and the potential. Yeah. Like other players would not succeed in the same role that the Rams use Cooper Kupp in.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think, I mean, also the fact that Cooper Kupp is very similar to Robert Woods. I mean, they're pretty much the same player in what they can do. I mean, maybe Robert Woods is less physical and Cooper Kupp is a little more physical. Robert Woods has a little more speed, but I mean, they kind of play that same role. Cooper Kupp plays a lot in the slot too. And I just think that when they have 2 very similar players, I mean, I don't know how different they, I mean, I don't know how distinguishable they are. And obviously Cooper Kupp's getting the love, but 1 week Robert Woods is getting the love, stuff like that.
So you're saying Cooper Kupp's not top 3?
No, I'm not. I mean, I don't think he's top 3.
I want to hear who else you're putting over Kupp.
I mean, there's a lot of receivers.
A lot.
I would definitely put. I mean, I'll list them right now. I definitely put Amari Cooper over him. I definitely put Julio and Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson.
AJ Brown stinks.
And Justin Jefferson, I think.
J-Jets.
I think Calvin Ridley's better. I think
I'd put Jefferson at 4 on my list, by the way.
Maybe we'll do that one day. Rank players.
You should.
And then I put like Julio over him. But I mean, not. I mean, Cooper Kupp is maybe he was 15, 20, probably around 20 to start the year, just because he got injured and he wasn't really that present last year. Maybe now he's moved his way up to 10, 15. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of receivers that take over.
Next.
My take. It's only been 3 weeks, but someone, I think that maybe two people actually, will set the record for passing yards in a season this year. Okay, so let's do some math. The passing yards in a season record is 5,477, set by Peyton Manning in 2013. Okay, well, that is the pace to get that is it's 322 yards a game. I did the math. I did it on my phone. So you need to throw that many yards a game. Paul, would you guess how many quarterbacks are on pace to beat the record?
I'd say 5.
It's 3 right now. It's Derek Carr,
I was overshot.
Tom Brady, and Kyler Murray. I think that
Tom Brady's gonna break it.
I think that two of those players are going to do it, and I don't think one of them is in the conversation. I think that the records will be broken. Here's the prediction by Brady, and I think that Dak will come back and break it.
I like that.
I think that when you look at what Brady does, Brady literally throws like 80 times a game, and it's like not fair, especially like fantasy wise. Like, I mean, when you watch him play, he literally throws like 80 times a game, and that offense is consistently pushing the ball down the field. And I mean, they try to set the run. Leonard Fournette, I mean, he's all right. He does the job, but like they're never really gonna run the ball 50 times a game. And I mean, obviously the Cowboys run the ball a lot, but the way Kellen Moore uses Zeke and the way Kellen Moore uses Tony Pollard, there's an embarrassment of riches on that team. And the fact that, I mean, I think Kellen Moore is the second best coordinator in the league. And the fact that the way he is able to make Dak Prescott look incredible, and Dak Prescott looked incredible last year, I just think it's bound to happen this year. Now, I know that if you didn't know, so last year, no quarterbacks were on the right pace that would have been needed to break it. The last time was, I think it was Jameis Winston when he threw for 5,000 yards.
30 touchdowns and 30 picks.
Yeah, when he did that, that was, I'm pretty sure, the last time it was. Peyton Manning, the pace he was on was 342 yards a game, which is incredible.
Sure.
But so I think that because you don't have to throw as many, I think Derek Carr is actually leading the league in 400 yards with 400 yards per game this year. So he is the most likely guy to break it. But I mean, and the fact that they don't have a true run game yet, means that he definitely can break it, and he can have games where he only throws for like 300 and 250. But I just like what these guys have, and I think one of them's gonna break it.
Agreed. I agree with Tom Brady. Yeah, I could definitely see Dak getting it too. But love that prediction. And also it's a 17-game season.
Yeah.
So
that helps.
They have an extra week to do it. Final claim for me. It's just 3 weeks, but cancel the New York Giants season. It's embarrassing. It really is. 0-3. They just lost to the Falcons. How are you gonna lose the Falcons? This is their upcoming schedule. They play the Saints, 2-1. They play the 2-1 Cowboys, 3-0 Rams, the 3-0 Panthers, the Chiefs, who are the Chiefs, the 3-0 Raiders, and the Tampa Bay defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. I don't see them winning any of those games. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0-11.
Yep, it is.
0-10.
It's 0-10. It's 0-10. It's 0-10. I've seen the graphic on Instagram.
Hard, terrible. Daniel Jones stinks. This headline I have written down here, it's from the game versus the Falcons on Sunday. It says Daniel Jones report card, another mistake-free game, but New York loses 17-14. The fact that the media is celebrating that he didn't make a mistake, like they need to like celebration. Daniel Jones didn't make a mistake. That's completely embarrassing. And then I think also the game on Sunday shows, it's like the past games, like with the Washington one, obviously they lost. They jumped off sides in the field goal. The thing about the game against the Falcons was there was no like specific stupid play, coaching decision, like big mistake by Daniel Jones that lost them the game. They're just not good. They just couldn't beat the Falcons. So I leave the floor to you, New York Giants fan. I cancel the season. They stink.
So watching the Giants this year, I noticed some things, and it's the Giants. What really just bugs me. Look, I can address this from the beginning. So I didn't even fully watch the first game of the season. I was watching a movie. I was at the movie theaters watching a Marvel movie.
Shang-Chi?
Yep, Shang-Chi.
Great movie. Great
movie. Absolutely phenomenal movie.
Fantastic film.
But anyway, what I would say is the thing about the Giants this year, and what I don't understand, what boggles my mind, is when I'm reading the news last year and I'm reading all the stuff about what the team's doing. I follow a lot of Giants beat reporters on Twitter. I want to see what's happening behind the scenes for my team. I see just last year just how well the team chemistry was molded together, just how well the team came together, and just how well the coach Joe Judge was actually doing with the team. I mean, it looked like last year basically everything he did was like he couldn't miss. Like he had the Midas touch last year. And so when I look at that and I compare it to this year, and everything has gone wrong. I mean, just reading the stuff before the actual season started, when a bunch of players walked out on the left the team, and a bunch of Kelvin Benjamin started to fight people on the coaching staff. Like it's incredibly different to what you thought was going to actually happen. Now the Giants have a lot of talent on this roster. I honestly don't think they're gonna go 0-10. I don't think they're gonna start 0-10. I think they're gonna pick up two wins in this next stretch, which is a lot because I mean the quality of teams they play. But like I think they're bound to pick up a few games. But look, when I look at these players, I look at this team, honestly, it's just really the fact that they can't consistently play at a high level. I mean, there'll be drives where Daniel Jones just is incredible, and then there'll be drives where the Giants are in the red zone, they're looking great, and then he'll take a sack, and then he'll take another sack, and then we'll be out 30 yards when we could be on the 1 yard line, giving it to Saquon so we can just jump over the offensive line and score a touchdown. At this point, I don't think the Giants will be that consistent. I think we need to. I mean, obviously, I want the coaching staff to stay on because if we're going to lose, the coaching staff's going to go and the general manager is going to go and they restart. But I mean, at this point, I mean, it does not look good. It just does not look great. I don't think the Giants will make the playoffs at all. And I don't think
talking about the playoffs.
Because there's an extra game this year. I mean, think about it like this: we're basically at week 2.
Say goodbye to your hope. You should have no hope for this team.
But
don't even talk about. Don't mention the Giants in the playoffs in the same sentence.
But look, I think they are gonna pick up a few games this year. They're gonna win some stupid games. They're gonna win games where they get a little lucky. They just have not performed. I mean, the defense just regressed. Things are regressing. Not great. Not going great.
Joe Judge lost his team before the season even started when they were fighting at practice with Daniel Jones at the bottom of the pile. Can't be fighting so on top of your quarterback. Yeah.
Not fun. I mean, the thing is, I mean, if the Giants end up sucking and we end up with the number 1 pick in the draft, looks like we're going to end up with 2 very high picks. The Bears looking pretty dysfunctional as well. Matt Nagy is bound to go soon. So that might be good. So at least Giants have a good shot. And there's really not much they have to rebuild. I mean, they have to rebuild the interior of that offensive line. The Giants have to rebuild. I think if they're gonna rebuild, they're gonna have to get a new quarterback. Daniel Jones has actually looked pretty good this year, and he probably could look good if for a prolonged period of time with a decent coordinator. I mean, I've never been the biggest Daniel Jones guy, but yeah, I mean, it's not going to be great. Not too fun right now. Move on. Paul's like, I'm sick of this talk about all the Giants football.
It's terrible. I can't. It's so bad.
Okay, I'll move on. Okay. So this might sound a little counterintuitive. Actually, not really. Okay. So my next take is that, look, I like them. I like what they're doing, but it's only been 3 weeks. But I think the Panthers are frauds. Look, I know they're 3-0, and I know that their defense has been absolutely incredible. But at this point, I understand that I like I like Joe Brady, and I like players on their defense. But I just don't think, I've never been a Panthers guy, and the fact that Sam Darnold is the quarterback makes me even more sour to them.
Sam
I
Darnold's a good quarterback.
I
They're
just
just not a bad team.
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, he was really bad on a bad, like, he played terrible on a terrible team. Now if you're gonna
Because the
say
team was terrible.
if you're gonna say it's because the team is terrible, I just don't think that's true. The fact that when you look at the games, when you look through the game log last year, the best games that the Jets played were not when Sam Darnold played. The best games the Jets played was the one time that Joe Flacco played, and then every other game was below replacement level. So the bye week was the next thing.
Now let's look at the Panthers games with Teddy Bridgewater last year compared to the Panthers games with Sam Darnold this year.
But the difference is, Paul, like, I like Joe Brady obviously knows how to work with Darnold. I just don't have the confidence that Sam Darnold will be that good of a quarterback, and he'll
We'll
be the
see what
guy in
happens
the
over the
future.
next couple of weeks.
I mean, I still have questions with their offensive line. Their defense looks good, but how long can they keep it up? They're just a bunch of young athletic guys up there. I mean, for how long can we realistically keep a bunch of young athletic guys and make them go off? Now I know their rushing defense especially has been stout, but I mean I mean I don't know, I just they haven't even played that great teams either. I mean, they played the Texans, they played the Jets, and then they played the Saints, who are a bit who are okay, but I mean they're just, I mean, I think they're frauds. I'm not a fan.
I'm a fan of the defense, and also I think they're proving stuff too. You know, J.C. Horn went down with the injury.
Yeah,
It's a little scary, but the front office proved themselves. They went out and they got C.J. Henderson to fill that role. Like, they're showing that they're trying to make moves to win football games, and we saw them without Christian McCaffrey.
yeah. I don't think McCaffrey is going to be the reason if they're bad. I don't think.
Well, yeah, no. I'm just saying, we saw them without McCaffrey for a couple quarters versus the Texans, but that's the Texans. We'll see how they perform with Chuba Hubbard.
I think Chuba's going to be great, by the way. I mean, he's a great. I liked him coming into the league. I just have questions about the sustainability of how they play.
Well, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're a good team.
All right. Okay. I mean, that's my take.
Fair enough. I don't agree. Shout out DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Good team.
Yep.
Good team in Carolina. All right. So that was it for our overreactions. And now I am going to give you my fantasy player of the week. So be sure to get this guy in all your lineups.
Book it.
No. This is book it, but you'll probably be seeing this Friday.
Hopefully you already booked it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're going to probably see this Friday, maybe even after that. I'm not sure. My guy, my fantasy player of the week is playing tomorrow night. That is Jamar Chase going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just traded C.J. Henderson to the Panthers. Weak team overall. It's just not a good football team. Expect from Jamar Chase, my projections, my model is projecting. Let's go. Thinking it up right now. 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Positive of 100 yards.
Sure.
And 8+ catches. Big day for fantasy. You
day.
Want Jamar Chase in your lineups because he's going to run up numbers against the Jaguars defense.
That's interesting. I might give you a player of the week too. Let's hear it. So, Paul, this player plays on Monday Night Football in prime time. Everyone's going to be able to watch him play well, and he's been pretty good this year.
Mike Williams.
No, he's been pretty good this year. People have been drafting him high, and people think that he's going to be incredible. And I think he has that ceiling.
Eckler.
It's going to be Eckler.
No!
Austin Eckler is in it for a game. Look, the Raiders, I don't like their rushing defense, and they're gonna keep dialing up the pass rush. They're gonna try to get to Herbert. Herbert, I mean, should be dumping it off to Eckler, should be giving Eckler plenty of volume, and I think if he gets that volume, I see no reason why he can't get into the second level and can't get into the end zone multiple times. So I guess I would predict a little. I mean, I don't know how conservative this is. I'm gonna go 7 catches, 60 yards, so through the air. I'm gonna say 80 yards on the ground, right? So that's 21 points, and then I think we'll see 2 to 3 touchdowns. I think
Two to three.
I think he'll find his way into the end zone a lot, and I think that's the play this week. Also, I would say that Terry McLaurin is going to be up there. I mean, they're playing the Falcons, and with how much they feed Terry, might be an also good shot.
Okay, I just did a couple mathematical equations to me. My Jamar Chase predictions netting like around 32 fantasy points, 32 to 34 fantasy points. Very good game from the wide receiver position. So yeah, make sure you book Jamar Chase and Austin Eckler in your lineups. You're gonna want them. They're gonna pay off.
They're gonna pay off.
Curran, anything else you want to talk about before? Because Herb told us keep this under 40 minutes. We're closing in on 40 minutes. He said like way under 40 minutes, like 15, 20 minutes, and we're closing in on 40.
We're chilling. Okay. I'll just say that, I mean, make sure you're watching some college football this weekend. Ole Miss is going to come in and beat Bama.
This is your viewing guide?
Yeah, that's the book it. Ole Miss versus Bama. I'm liking Ole Miss. I'm liking Ole Miss to come and beat Bama, number one. And I also like Cincinnati to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame is currently favored, but I think everyone's sleeping on Cincinnati. I think they're, in my opinion, the 4th best team in the country. And I think they're going to come in to South Bend. I think they're going to kick their butt. And we're going to move on. And they're going all the way to the college football playoff.
Give me the Auburn Tigers coming into the Bayou.
The Bayou.
To face off against LSU. And LSU's going to kick down the ranked number 22 Auburn.
Yeah. I can see it. I mean,
they're both 3-1.
Yeah, Auburn is, I mean, they're not really that great. I mean, obviously they're ranked and they have Bo Nix, but I've never been a Bo Nix guy. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. All right, I'm good. You good, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So what can I say? Well, see you guys later. Make sure subscribe. That's our show for the day. First of the year, many to come. Hopefully next time you see us, we will be in school. We will be together. And hopefully we will be recording. But for now, subscribe, comment, share, show it to all your friends. Follow the West Esquire on Instagram. Follow the West Esquire on TikTok. Big things coming for the future. Not going to give away anything that's happening. And yeah, anything you want to say, Paul?
Thanks for watching, and don't forget, go Tigers.
Go Tigers. See ya.